So we assignment one. Basically, this session is for assignment one discussion. So some of you have submitted your assignment, some did not submit. So this session is basically to address all the things related to assignment one. So you have your UT also scheduled. So do make sure that you guys are appearing for your test, and it's important that what you're writing has to be as per the exam standard. As you know that if you are planning from IFOA and if a question is of 5 marks, an examiner expects 5 valid points from your side. So the issue that you will face in exam is not that you don't know the answer. The issue that you will face is that I am not able to make these 5 points. So your struggle is that how I need to make basically 5 valid points for a 5 marks question. That will be a major issue, and you can only get a hold over that if you are practicing enough. So it's very important to practice lot of past papers, then only you can reach to the exam standard. And team has done video tracking, and there are multiple students who are missing on the past papers practice. We know each one of yours progress on an individual level. So if you are feeling that let's just focus on the content and we will do past papers at the end, then you are just trying to please yourself, but that will not help you to clear exam. And if you are giving CB1 alone, then though definitely you should give 100%. And if you're clubbing CB1 along with CS1, CM1 or any other exam, to take your decision. I mean, the lot of expenses are involved, lot of time gets invested when you are applying for a particular exam. So if you are applying for an exam, apply with this particular motive only, that you have to give your 100%. There should not be less than 100% in anything, it has to be 100%. So now let's start with the first question of the assignment. Question one was, describe the basic principles of taxation of capital gains. So with respect to taxation of capital gains, what point we would be requiring in this type of question is basically पहली क्या है कि tax capital gain किस पे लगेगा, sale price minus purchase cost, and sale price basically has to be reduced to reflect any cost associated with the sale. और हम लोग परचेज प्राइस को भी टिल डेट इंडेक्सेशन अलाउंस अलाउ कर देते हैं. सो इंडेक्सेशन अलाउंस कैन बी प्रोवाइडेड टू रिमूव द कैपिटल गेन्स ड्यू टू लेवल ऑफ इन्फ्लेशन. सो इंडेक्सेशन से इट हेल्प्स टू रिड्यूस टैक्स लाइबिलिटी, एंड कैपिटल लॉसेस कैन बी ऑफसेट अगेंस्ट कैपिटल गेन्स इन दैट पर्टिकुलर ईयर. So in the same year, if you have multiple assets on which on one asset you have experienced gain and on the other asset you have experienced loss, so that capital loss can be offset against your capital gain. And you need to check कि कितना allowed है कितना नहीं allowed है, but yes, that's offset. And there can be different tax rates for capital gains, so we need to see कि which particular domain we are fitting in. The tax rate can be different for an individual, tax rate can be different for a corporate. This is what you are supposed to make. सो आप लोगों ने क्या किया, द आंसर्स दैट आई रिसीव वॉइस कि आपने कैपिटल गेन समझाया, आपने कैपिटल गेन पे टैक्स कैसे लगता है वो समझाया, लेकिन आप लोगों ने ये नहीं बताया इंडेक्सेशन भी. एक दो स्टूडेंट्स ने इंडेक्सेशन भी मेंशन किया. अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट, सी वी कैन नॉट स्टॉप अंटिल वी आर एबल टू मेक 5 valid points. Apart from that, do mention about capital loss, do mention about capital loss offsetting as well, and different rate of taxes on capital gains, different rate of taxation on individual and corporate. We need to mention about that too. Next is list the factors that you would consider when deciding whether to set up your new business as a partnership or as a company. So this we have done multiple times in a live session. क्योंकि listing है मेरा यहाँ पर, आपका discussion का मतलब क्या है, that we need to segregate basically कि what's the question, if the question is on listing, how we need to present, if the question is on detailing, then how we need to present. So question is on listing the factors that you would consider whether to set up your new business as a partnership or as a company. So there are multiple factors like how you are setting up, whether the finance is required or not, the amount of finance that is required, ease of setting up, disclosure requirements, control of business, type of business. So any factor is acceptable. So this has been answered well by everyone. Next is discuss the economic advantages and disadvantages of a limited company as a business entity. Now, what are the advantages of a limited company? एक तो you can easily raise money from investors because when you're setting up as a sole trader or when you're setting up as a partnership, so your credibility is at risk. But when you're setting up as a company, there are a lot of disclosure requirements that you need to fulfill. There are a lot of stock exchange requirements, especially if you're setting up as a public limited company. There are a lot of stock exchange requirements that we need to fulfill. So it's easy to raise capital. So limited liability allows large number of people basically to invest small amounts of money, and we can hire professional managers basically who are running the company, so automatically efficiency is also there. But what are the disadvantages is that the liability is limited. So if the liability is limited, that means creditors cannot claim on the personal assets of the business that once the company's assets have been exhausted. And plus the control gets affected because you are owner, but you are not the ultimate controller of the company. The control is passed on to someone else, so daily activities are carried out by someone else. We need to hire managers, we need to hire employees, so we know okay, we have agency problems in capital company. Plus, information asymmetries are also there. Some of the stakeholders have access to better information, others don't have access to that information. So, different stakeholders have access to different information. This makes agency problem more difficult to resolve. So, like this, up 3-4 advantages and 3 to 4 disadvantages need to be there in your answer for this type of question. Any doubts in question 1, 2, or 3 to any of you? अगर डाउट्स नहीं थे तो आप लोगों की असाइनमेंट रिसीव होनी चाहिए थी. The assignments are not for me to submit. Assignments are for you to submit so that you are practicing in a particular time frame and you are getting hold over the written questions which is required so that you can understand that how the points need to be made. Next, a newly qualified actuary is starting an actuarial consultancy. In order to start the consultancy, she needs large amount of capital for the purchase of property and furniture. She decides to borrow quite heavily. However, she is worried about the risk of losing her personal assets in case of business liabilities. A friend has suggested incorporating this business as a limited company in order to avoid all the risk associated with business liabilities. Explain whether incorporation as a limited company would be likely to be a cost effective way of avoiding personal liability for the consultancy's borrowings. See, if you are, lenders would have a claim against assets, but lenders will not have a claim against individual as basically, ठीक है. एंड लेंडर्स को रिस्की हो जाएगा. एंड अगर लेंडर्स के लिए रिस्की है तो दे कैन चार्ज हाई रेट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट एज वेल. अगर वो रेट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट हाई चार्ज करेंगे तो आपकी फाइनेंस कॉस्ट बढ़ेगी. फाइनेंस कॉस्ट बढ़ेगी तो बिजनेस का प्रॉफिट कम हो जाएगा. प्लस लेंडर हो सकता है एडिशनल सिक्योरिटी भी मांगे. लेंडर हो सकता है एग्जिस्टिंग एसेट्स पे कंस्ट्रेंट्स भी लगाए. हो सकता है लेंडर आपसे गारंटीज मांगे. एंड there are a lot of regulatory requirements that have to be set against the benefits of limited liabilities. There are a lot of reporting requirements, filing requirements, and so you need to understand all these things ki even if we are setting up as a company, but still there are a lot of constraints that we have to be. So this question was asking you that. So this was not well answered by many of you. So यहाँ पर question ने ये बोला है basically that a newly qualified actuary is starting an actuarial consultancy. और consultancy start करने के लिए she needs large amount of capital and she decides to borrow. But she is worried कि she would lose her personal assets in case of business liabilities. लेकिन एक फ्रेंड ने बोला कि यू कैन इनकॉर्पोरेट दिस एज अ लिमिटेड कंपनी ताकि आप अपने सारे रिस्क खत्म कर सको. सो हम ये कह रहे हैं कि अगर हम लिमिटेड कंपनी की तरह इनकॉर्पोरेट कर भी लेंगे तो भी ऐसा नहीं है कि रिस्क खत्म हो जाएंगे. क्यों रिस्क क्यों नहीं खत्म होंगे? क्योंकि लेंडर को हो सकता है गारंटी तब भी चाहिए हो. लेंडर आपसे एक्स्ट्रा इंटरेस्ट रेट तब भी मांग सकता है. लेंडर आपसे एडिशनल सिक्योरिटी तब भी मांग सकता है. लेंडर आपसे आपकी एग्जिस्टिंग एसेट्स पे कंस्ट्रेंट्स अभी भी लगा सकता है और आपको भी बहुत सारी रेगुलेटरी रिक्वायरमेंट्स फुलफिल करनी पड़ेंगी. तो ऐसा नहीं है कि अगर हम लिमिटेड कंपनी की तरह एस्टैब्लिश कर रहे हैं तो हम अपने सारे पर्सनल रिस्क पास ऑन कर सकते हैं. दिस इज कंप्लीटली नॉट गुड. सो आई होप जिया दिस इज क्लियर टू यू नाउ. नेक्स्ट है देखो, your friend will be interviewed for the position of finance manager tomorrow. Among several other questions that he is preparing for, he seeks your help on the following three questions. Primary objective आपको पता है, what factors influence his decisions while trying to achieve his primary objective? तो primary objective finance manager का क्या है? Maximizing the return to shareholders. There are a lot of factors that influence a decision. The basically the risk appetite of the owners, the willingness of the owners to put additional capital into the business, basically how much they desire for profit. So owners desire for immediate profit rather than high growth, and the returns that we are expecting with regard to nature of business. So there are multiple factors, and how state any two factors that decide how an asset is financed. So there are multiple factors that influence this decision. Basically taxation decide करता है, because आपको पता है debt is relatively less expensive compared to cost of equity, and the degree of gearing plus the required level of gearing plus the acceptable level of gearing, that's another factor that impacts nature of business. The volatility associated with cash flows and profits, that also impacts. Next, question 6 is, an actuary has his own actuarial consultancy. He is considering taking on a business partner. Explain advantages and disadvantages to the actuary of admitting a partner. Now, if you are admitting a partner, इसका क्या मतलब है? एक तो हम अपना बेसिकली कंट्रोल शेयर करेंगे, ठीक है, लेकिन पार्टनर अपना कैपिटल के साथ आएगा, तो वी विल हैव ग्रेटर फाइनेंस टू इन्वेस्ट, प्लस आप दोनों इकट्ठे जॉइंटली एंड सेवरली लाइबल फॉर द लाइबिलिटीज ऑफ द पार्टनरशिप वुड बी देयर. सो अब जितने मार्क्स उतने आपके पॉइंट्स होने चाहिए. बट व्हाट कैन बी द डिसएडवांटेजेस? सी, एडवांटेजेस आर ओके, अगर पार्टनर कैपिटल लेकर आ रहा है, प्लस अगर पार्टनर की एक्सपर्टीज का आपको एक्सेस मिलेगा, पार्टनर की नॉलेज का आपको एक्सेस मिलेगा, आप बेटर जगह पे इन्वेस्ट कर सकते हो जो आप इंडिविजुअली नहीं कर सकते थे. सो यू देयर इज एन इंसेंटिव टू मेक द बिजनेस अ सक्सेस. Plus, you get access to the skills and talents of the partner. But at the same time, the control of the business will be there. A lot of tips between you and partner can be there. So we need to take into account those conflicts as well. Then last question is, an individual taxpayer subject to UK tax law has complained to you that she is effectively being taxed several times on the same earnings. Her only assets are investments in shares and also a pension scheme. These assets were purchased out of her earned income on which she has paid income tax. Now she feels that she is being taxed for a second time on the returns from her investments. Explain whether his concerns are justified or not. तो देखो, पहला टैक्स उसको कहाँ पे लगा? उसने उसने बोला कि उसके हिसाब से उसकी सेम अर्निंग्स पे उसको मल्टीपल बार टैक्स लग चुका है, बिकॉज हर एसेट्स आर इन्वेस्टमेंट्स इन शेयर्स एंड अ पेंशन स्कीम. सो दीज एसेट्स वो कहाँ से परचेज हुए थे? उसकी अर्न इनकम से, जिसपे उसने ऑलरेडी इनकम टैक्स पे किया हुआ है. और अगर जो इन्वेस्टमेंट्स पे अब रिटर्न आ रहा है उस पे भी वो टैक्स पे कर रहे हैं, तो इट्स लाइक डबल टैक्सेशन. सी, वी नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड कि, एंड जब हम डिविडेंड, मान लो अगर हमने शेयर्स में पैसा लगा रखा है और पेंशन स्कीम में पैसा लगा रखा है, तो पेंशन स्कीम में जो हमें पैसा आता है, जो रिटर्न आता है, उसमें हमें टैक्स रिलीफ मिलता है. तो डेफिनेटली द टैक्स पेयर वुड हैव रिसीव लॉट ऑफ टैक्स रिलीफ ऑन द कॉन्ट्रीब्यूशंस दैट वी आर पेइंग इनटू द स्कीम प्लस द रिटर्न्स दैट वी आर गेटिंग फ्रॉम द पेंशन स्कीम. सो उस पे डबल टैक्सेशन का कोई मतलब नहीं है. रही बात आपकी शेयर्स वाले पे, आपने पैसा अपने कमाई हुई पैसे से आपने इनकम उस पे लगाया, लेकिन जो डिविडेंड्स कंपनी पे करती है, दे आर ऑल्सो नेट ऑफ टैक्स. सो इट इज क्वाइट पॉसिबल दैट बेसिकली जो वहां पर आपने आपने ओवरऑल जितना भी टैक्स पे किया होता है और जो आपको डिविडेंड नेट निकल के आता है, हम क्या करते हैं, जब आपका इनकम टैक्स कैलकुलेट होता है तो उसमें आपका इन्वेस्टमेंट रिटर्न जो कैलकुलेट होता है वो हम इस तरीके से कंसिडर करते हैं कि ऐसा नहीं है कि आपको वहां पे डबल टैक्सेशन देना पड़ेगा. आपका ओवरऑल टैक्स कंसिडर किया जाता है कि आपने साल में कितना टैक्स भरा, और उसके हिसाब से आपने जो रिटर्न्स कमाए हैं उस पे आप ऑलरेडी टीडीएस कितना कटवा चुके हो. तो जितना आपका टैक्स बनता है वर्सेस जितना आपका टीडीएस ऑलरेडी आपके डिफरेंट इन्वेस्टमेंट्स में डिडक्ट हो चुका होगा, उसको सब्ट्रैक्ट करने के बाद जो टैक्स लाइबिलिटी बचती है वही टैक्स आपको पे करना होता है. सो अगेन इट इज नॉट पॉसिबल कि उसको कोई डबल टैक्सेशन का कोई इशू हुआ होगा, क्योंकि इवन इफ से हम लोगों ने एफडी करवाई होती है उस पे भी हम लोग टैक्स पे करते हैं, लेकिन जब आप अपने आईटीआर फाइल करते हो तो आपको फॉर्म 16 सबमिट करना होता है ताकि जो भी आपने टैक्सेस पे करे हैं वो हम कंसिडर कर लें। तो इट इज नॉट पॉसिबल दैट यू आर पेइंग डबल टैक्सेशन, वो हमें लगता है, लेकिन जब हमारा जो टीडीएस डिडक्ट हुआ होता है वो हमें रिसीव नेट ऑफ टैक्स है, लेकिन जो भी टीडीएस हमारा डिडक्ट हुआ होगा वो ओवरऑल जो हमारी टैक्स लाइबिलिटी बनती है उससे उतना कम हो जाएगा। इट्स नॉट दैट वी हैव टू पे इट डबल। So this was what the questions was. So we had only 7 questions and this was what the question was asking. So any doubts in any of the question to any of you? So if no doubts, so we would expect more participation going forward in terms of assignment. Plus, you have your test also scheduled. So active participation needs to be there in the test too. I'm telling you, this subject can be very easy to clear, but at the same time, this subject can become very difficult if you're not focusing on what is required. If you keep on focusing only on the content or the book, or you feel like I need to learn, it's not about the learning thing here. आपने सीखा है, सी बेसिकली पार्टनरशिप क्या होता है, लिमिटेड कंपनी क्या होता है, बट यू कैन सी इन नीदर ऑफ द क्वेश्चन डिड वी हैव आस्क्ड एनी डायरेक्टली कि पार्टनरशिप के क्या कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स है या आपकी कंपनी के क्या कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स है। ये सब क्वेश्चन आपके लेवल की नहीं है। क्वेश्चन यही आता है बेसिकली दैट you can be provided with a case study or a background information and you are supposed to comment based on that. So instead of focusing on learning portion and ratte lagane se better hai, focus on your concepts and focus on building the points. The more you practice, the more you will be able to understand the points which are required. It should be relevant points only. So with this, we have concluded this discussion and I expect every one of you to be present in your test going forward. Okay, then that's it for the day. Thank you.